Okay, so now that we've got the roof and the fascia and the gutter modelled in, along with the wall at the front set to go all the way across the front of the building, ready for the parapet. Now we can finally do the stepped parapet here to cover that roof gable form at the front. So first thing is to simply select that wall and make it higher. It's not high enough, and I'm going to use the arrow there just to stretch it by eye, not being too fussy here, because when I go and draw this I can do that more accurately. So there, the arrow's a good option here to stretch. Don't worry at all about the exact height though that is initially. So the main tool that I'm going to use here is Edit Profile. And you'll see this comes up whenever you select a wall in Revit. So here I've selected that front wall again, it's blue, and now on the ribbon you'll see the option to Edit Profile. Click on the arrow at the top.
What are you referring to as the ribbon, Denny?
Sorry?
What's the ribbon?
The ribbon's the bit at the top. The buttons running across the top of the screen is all the ribbon. This main section is the ribbon. Yeah. Okay, so like I said, the stretching is helpful, but it doesn't need to be an exact height. And then the main thing though is that you find that Edit Profile tool. So I'm going to click onto that, and you'll see then that it's basically flattened the wall, so it's converting it into a 2D outline of that wall so that you can make it into a different shape. So again, remember we just made a profile for the fascia, so now we're working with a profile or a 2D shape for the wall. But in the 3D view, it's nice to look at the roof and everything like that, but it's a bit difficult to draw accurately with this view direction. So I'm going to change, and you can do this whenever you're working in this mode. You have the tick and the cross, which tell you that you're working in this mode called sketch mode. And so that essentially means we can only work on those elements that we can see highlighted, those magenta lines. So you don't need to worry about selecting other things. You can't affect anything else. But again, a bit difficult to work on the profile in this view. So I'm going to change to an elevation. In this case, see if you can guess which elevation do you think is going to be looking at the front of the building. East, exactly, that's funny. East elevation. So you can see the ugly door there with the area that we're going to fix later. Ignore that for now. And so then remember we were saying that the line of the first step there basically comes from the top of that arch.
Yeah.
And then it's set down, and of course these caps are a different size, but no, it is set down a course. So we're going to say the courses are 350. So that tells us everything we need to know to get started. So like I said, if you just want to watch this bit, and once you get the basic idea, you'll be able to do the rest. So I'm going to draw a line. So notice in the panel at the top, I've got the draw panel, which you're probably getting used to using because you have it in all these different tools. So with the line tool, I'm going to snap to the top of that arch and take it across, and that gives me a baseline to measure from. I've gone beyond it, yeah. So what I'm trying to do here is come down 350 from that line, and that'll give me the top of this piece of stone. So if you remember your AutoCAD, you've got the offset tool. Oh, that's okay, as long as you can see the top of the arch. Yeah, sure. So here with offset, I'm going to turn copy off, and I'm going to change that offset value to 350. And then selecting the line there, well, you can see already we've got an issue. So the building in reality is a bit different to what we can really do, because the gutter there has ended up being lower than the up. So, okay, so that's what's happening in reality, but I can see straight away that it's too low. So I'm going to keep it so at that height. That's good. And we'll go the other way. So forget that last bit. We'll make it go up instead. So we want to go up 700 from this line, because we've got three courses there. So that's going to be 1,050. So I'm not putting the capstones in. We'll put the capstones in later. So I'll make it 1,050 up for the next line. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to do offset, but I'm going to go the other way. So back to offset. I'm going to turn copy back on and choose that line, because I want to actually keep that line. Yep. So I've gone once. Now I want to go with copy off another time. 350. I'm just doing it in increments of 350. Yeah. I could have just gone in 1,050 in one go, but that just saves me adding it all up. And because I want to keep doing it in increments of 350. So here I'm going to say it's coming out. Yeah. So you can turn, so you've got to click on offset in the modify panel. So it's the one that, so if you haven't used AutoCAD, it's the one next to array, next to a line. Sorry. Oh, right, yeah. So the offset icon, it's just next to a line, the second button on the top. That's it. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to offset this line with copy on, 350 to the right. And look, we're just doing this by eye. It's not perfect, but it's just to get it to cover up and to step in a reasonable way. So coming across here, we're going to say that is 700 across. So just doing 2 lines. And really, you probably don't want to try and follow exactly the way I'm doing. You just want to get the basic approach to drawing, because it's very similar to AutoCAD. You can offset and copy and do all those other things that you're used to in AutoCAD. So they're all in increments of 350. Yeah, exactly. So the only thing that's a bit tricky there is that this line here, remember, is the original line that we had for the wall. And notice it's going through the centre of the wall. That will extend across in the end when the wall's finished. So that's the 3D line of the wall. So don't worry about moving that one across to the edge. But the others will be where they are, where they're shown. So I'm going to draw a line now that comes across. Just for now, very roughly. You'll see it does actually curve. We're just going to draw it straight across for now and put the curve in later. Just so I can show you the trimming. So just like with AutoCAD, it's a good idea to trim things as you go rather than leaving it all to the end, because it gets a bit confusing otherwise. And I can see then that using my method of having 350 is not going to work anyway. So I've got to bring this line up. So like I said, it's just a representation. We're not trying to model this perfectly, because you're not going to rebuild so that line should be about 600 from the edge, but let's just say. So mine's 700 and it's still too much. So yeah, so look, I'm just going to fudge it. And selecting this line now, I'm just going to move that over, because really the purpose of this is to cover the roof. So this line as well, so I'm going to select it and nudge it with the with the arrows on the keyboard, not being too fussy here. And so then I can create extra lines. So just select a line and then use the arrows on the keyboard, moving it up, down, left and right. Bring this out a bit.
So you just want to bring it, we're just kind of eyeballing it.
Yeah, that's right.
Where you want it to be.
Yeah. I trimmed the corner is all you need.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the big one. Yeah. So that's a bit longer, but it's coming out from the side, so yeah, it's a bit hard to see. So that'll curve down. This one probably will come down a bit, so that's about right. So it really helps a lot if you have the photo there and just then keep referring back to it to get an idea of the shape.
So you've deleted all your construction lines, haven't
Yeah, yeah. So I've just left it now with the basic lines that I need, and I'm going to try then to copy these once I get... Look, there's no right or wrong way of doing this. What you want to try and do is work it out for yourselves. If you are drawing things, you need to be able to draw these shapes just using lines, so take your time trying to work it out. I'm just going to again copy using the copy tool now that I've got two lines that are starting to work. So I've got 1, 2, 3 and then the top. So 1, 2, 3 and then the top. So that should be okay. But again, these proportions still don't look quite right to me, so you can still fine tune it after that. And the nice thing about Revit is that when you select lines, it'll show you the dimensions and you can see then if they're even. Like I said, it is good if you can try and work this out and have a go at just drawing it the way you think makes sense. And so this again might test your memory of AutoCAD when you go to mirror, because you want the other side to be the same. And so this really is all just standard AutoCAD. So if you're not using AutoCAD regularly, I'd strongly recommend that you go back and spend some time practicing with it, because good, yeah, you've got to use it, you know, constantly. And if you're not, it's very difficult to get beyond the basics in Revit. So with these lines selected, I'm just going to use mirror, draw axis, which is the same mirror you have in AutoCAD. Snap to the midpoint there, or the ridge of the roof would be just as good. So the vertical line, and then I'm just going to draw a line connecting the 2 points at the top. Trim to join the side, and I'm going to delete that line that is at the very top. So that's why I said stretching doesn't really make that much difference here, because we're going to remove that anyway now that it's drawn. So that's it. I'm just going to finish it to show you the finished product, and it might give you a warning. Ignore that. I suppose I'll save this now. So again, my proportions are probably not right, so I can go back and adjust this now. It's covering up the roof, but I definitely could make it look more like the real thing. When the capstones go on, that'll help a lot as well, but that definitely could be better. So I'm going to select it back in the east elevation, and then go to edit profile again, and you can simply keep working on the shape. So much so, well, these really need to come across a bit more. Oh, the copy button's up on the modify panel. It's the one with the 2 circles. So next to move. Yep. Next to move.
Oh, cool. And then click on that and then you click on the points at all times.
Exactly, yeah.
Did you do one as well?
No, I've just done the first step.
Are all the steps the same height? Yeah.
They should be, but look, in reality they would be a little bit different, I think, because the stones have been adjusted slightly. But they are, but basically the same size. So there are 3 courses, because the capstone's there as well. But really, it's just to get the look. You're not changing this, it's not being rebuilt, so you just need it to look right in your elevations and other drawings. And so we'll do the capstones afterwards. That'll be a new family that we model onto there. But anything that looks like that, as long as you've got the steps in there and it's covering the roof, at first that will be plenty.